My name is Taciana Malvo, and I'm here in the KeithAndrewNetwork, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. We're gonna talk a lot about acting and people's disabilities and a lot of fun stuff. So keep watching, keep listening, and come with us.
All right, so the first question I want to ask you is tell our audience a little bit about your background and how you came to do what you do now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taciana. I grew up in Brazil, so I'm not originally from the US. I moved here 5 years ago in 2017, and I came here to improve my career as an actress. I was an actress in Brazil already, and I just wanted to keep studying and improving, and of course, improve my English as well. And here I am.
No, absolutely. It's all about seeking opportunities. And, like the saying in professional wrestling, if you think the grass is greener on the other side, jump. But, that's a false metaphor, but, it's saying always take an opportunity where you want to grow.
Yes, definitely. And of course, New York has a lot of opportunities right now. Not right now because of the COVID and pandemic situation, but New York is a big place for actors and for artists in general. So I think it's a huge place to make friends and network and meet people and to work.
I agree with you 100%. Like the expression, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Yes. If you can live by yourself in New York, you're ready to go anywhere.
So the next one, I'm going to ask you a couple more icebreaker questions. But the first one I want to ask you is, when you were in college, were you a study nerd or party animal, and what did you major in?
So first time I went to college was in Brazil, and we used to party a lot as well. We always had big parties, especially in the arts industry there. We would go out after a rehearsal for a play or filming or anything like that. I would go out and have some drinks and play guitar, and it's warm most of the time in Brazil. Like most of the days, we have like a huge winter as New York. So for us, it's easy to go outside and to be active all the time. So yeah, it's a different way to go to college in Brazil and to study here. I can notice a big difference. Like in Brazil, we could go out and be outside doing different activities. And here we have the summer break, which is great because we don't have a summer break in college in Brazil. So it's pretty good to have different kinds of, like cultures and people and, same goal. Like we're both artists in Brazil or in the US, and it's just different how the logistics and the classes and everything works.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the last 3 questions I want to ask you while we're on the icebreakers. So the first one is, did you ever do any sports? And what makes you different from the competition?
I love sports. I grew up practicing a lot of sports. I started as a dancer really young. When I was around 3 or 4 years old, that was the first sport. So I started dancing, and then I really liked roller skating and gymnastics. I played soccer, volleyball, swimming, basically all kinds of sports. But the only sports that I'm not really good and that you don't really know about, that I don't really like it. Not that I don't like it, but I'm not into it. It's probably basketball, a little bit of baseball too, because I don't understand baseball that much. Since we don't have baseball in Brazil, it's not really, it's not something we see that much. But I grew up practicing a lot of sports. I would go to school in the morning, and in the afternoon and like early evening, I would be out or at the club and practicing sports every day.
And now going back to the next question, since we're going to start the acting segment of the show, is what makes you different from the competition?
I think everyone is different. I think each person has its own, like personality and perspective. And even if you look alike, even if if you go to an audition and you think you just like the others, but I don't believe people are like other people. I think everyone has something unique. I don't really know what makes me unique. I mean, I have a perspective that's really different, and my goals and the way I see the world, the way I project my creativity, and I'm outgoing and I'm out there and I'm helping people, and I think just a little bit of everything makes me different. So
no, I agree with you. And what makes me different from the competition is the fact, one, I do have a disability, and two, you want to break the status quo of show people, hey, labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. You should prove them and stand out to something. So it's all about breaking the stereotype.
Exactly.
So do you ever want to ask you, it's one of those fun classes, so I just want to throw out there, is did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or you're not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
I would like to do something related to that. I never had the opportunity yet, but it's something that I'm interested in learning more about it and doing it in the future, for sure.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser. It's always a fun question. Just instead of acting like, okay, here's the script, it's always fun to just throw an extra one in there. But do you ever want to ask you a serious question? Besides me, obviously, have you worked with people with disabilities, and are you willing to work with people with learning disabilities?
Yes, for sure. I have a few people in my family that have disabilities back in Brazil, and I grew up with a cousin, and she's an autistic kid, and I've been working here like in the past few years in the States as a nanny. I was an au pair and I was a nanny after. And I've been working with kids with disabilities as well. I was a teacher, an art teacher in Brazil before I moved here. And of course, as a teacher, you have different kids and you have different, ages. And of course, between those kids, you have kids with disabilities. And yeah, I have experienced with people with disabilities.
No, absolutely. Now, the other part of that question is for people who want to follow in your footsteps, if they have learning disabilities or not, what are some of your words of wisdom?
I mean, honestly, if something you want to do it, like just go for it. It doesn't matter how hard you think it is. It doesn't matter what people tell you. You know your own truth. So just be out there. New York specifically has a lot of different classes, and they are there for you. If you want to take classes, if you want to learn more, if you want to get that as a career, just go out there and be yourself and never be ashamed of who you are. just be there.
No, absolutely. You know, we actually want to have some more fun with this, and I want you to open up. If you could, we don't have to. I'm just throwing it out there. Are you like fluent in English, or is English like a second language? And the reason I ask is you could answer one question in English and then answer it in your other native tongue. So it's more fun. So it's more like,
No, English is my second language. In Brazil, we speak Portuguese. So I speak Portuguese and English, and now I do speak Spanish as well. So.
Actually, there is something I do want to work on with you after the show. I'm trying to get my speech that we did in the beginning of the show. I'm trying to get that in different languages, and I do have that in Japanese, and I would love to have your help with it. Have it in Brazilian, sorry, but I'm just doing right. My show it's about disability, so I haven't done my interview as of late. So my mind's like, ask this question, ask that question. I'm like thinking to myself, shut up, ask one of the questions. You have time. Anyway, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades, but it's kind of hard. It's like, I don't want to miss this question. I want to make sure I ask this one right. But hey, you're all your own worst enemy. Anyway, this is not about me. This is about you. But thank you for putting up with me. I do want to ask you the next question is, what is your biggest change that you want to make in your acting career?
That's a great question. So when I was an actress in Brazil, I was mainly acting for stage, which means I was more into theater than film and TV. But moving to New York and studying different paths in the career, I really noticed that I actually love film and TV. So my goals are totally to go on that path. And then, I don't know, I think maybe one day move to LA and go to different kinds of auditions and, just getting there. And I mean, it's a crazy business. It's a crazy world. So we gotta do what we gotta do. And I get really excited when I talk about it because acting is the thing I love the most and dancing. So it's something I want to do for the rest of my life. So I would do any change. I would do anything to get what I want.
Oh, absolutely. And now the other question I want to ask is similar to the first one, but what is the biggest change you have made in your life that let me ask you like kind of like a two-part. With everything that you accomplished in your life, do you see a change with the before and after? So how was life before you became in the entertainment business? And do you think being in the entertainment business, has that given you a different outlook on life?
Yeah. So when I was still choosing what I wanted to do and what I want to be my career, back there in high school, when you're young and you're deciding what I want to do, what I want to be when I grow up. And I felt really lost because I could see my friends, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a teacher, and they were so sure about what they wanted. And I felt so lost because back then I couldn't believe that being an actress or being a dancer or like an artist in general could be like something more than a hobby. Because I know sometimes people think, okay, you like to, spend your weekends dancing and acting, but what do you do for a living? What's your real career? And I back then I couldn't believe that being an artist could be something, and I felt lost. But then after a while, and I accepted that that's who I am and that's what I really want to do, and it doesn't matter what people think or what people say. And when I had this mind like changing, like that thought, that just changed my life. It was like, okay, that's what I really want to do. It doesn't matter if people don't believe or if people don't agree. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't, I don't want to be anything like that. I don't want to work in an office. I don't want to work in a lab. I don't want to be anywhere like this. I just want to be in a different place every day. I want to be filming different things. I want to be different people, different characters. And I think that was the biggest change when I believed I could be an actress for real.
One of the things you did say, you look at your friends and they're doing best, you're doing bad. Well, the first thing I want to say is it's always good to have a plan A and a plan B, in some cases plan C, D, or E. But everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face. And when you have to pick up the pieces, then you're you have to step back and try to refocus. Okay, this didn't work. How can we go about it? It's kind of like saying, you wanted it. Well, being in the entertainment business, it isn't a 9-to-5 job. But some people, Robert Downey Jr., Christian Bale, they get some great movies and make millions of dollars, but you can have like 4 movies lined up, and after the 4, you can be unemployed for a good 2-3 years or something else. It isn't you're punching in, you're punching out, and you're like making $15 an hour. So it takes a lot of heart and passion to get through the door. And if your performance doesn't sync with the audience, connecting with the audience, I'm struggling on that. Connecting with the audience is the biggest battle, because if you don't have an audience, you're just, there's some things you don't do. You don't piss in the wind. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't want your time wasted. You want to give the best performance and the best interviews that you can, and say, if I can connect with one person, or if connect with anyone around you, you're on the right step. It's when you're not connecting, that's where you need to step back and reevaluate what you have to do. And that actually goes to my next question I want to ask you, is what is the biggest obstacle you have faced and how did you overcome it?
Everything you said is totally true, because it's not a stable job. It's something you need to keep looking, and you keep auditioning, and you keep going after, you didn't finish one contract already, but you're already auditioning for the next one and the next one and the next one. And I think this is really tiring. If you're not ready for that kind of life, you probably won't be happy if you chose this path and you don't want to be having this kind of life, because as you said, like, you can be in a few movies and you can make a lot of money, but then you don't get work anymore for 1, 2, 3, 5 years. And for example, we had a pandemic right now, so what do? It is really, really, it's a tough way to live. Only strong people can do it. But yeah, I mean, I used to work as a teacher, so probably if I had to change my career, that's something I would do, specifically to teach kids anything about arts, like dance, music, theater, like acting, anything related to this, like performing arts and things like that. That would be great. Probably that would be plan B. But yeah, I mean, we always figure it out, even if you don't have a plan B and things are not working well and the plan A, you always figure it out. At least I always manage to, I'm working here right now, but what about, next month? What about next season? If my contract is over, what I'm gonna do? Like, am I ready? Do I know what I want to do next? See the options, there are a lot of options to choose, and just focus and get ready and try your best. And if it doesn't work, then you keep going to different paths, and then you keep, living.
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm going to ask you the last two questions, then we can do a roundup. So the first one is, what's difficult about being an actor for you? And how do you handle stress and pressure?
What is hard? For me right now is to manage my time. Because I graduated in the middle of the pandemic, so I couldn't work right away after I graduated. And this was really tough for me because I had to figure it out, plan B, what I'm gonna do. But right now, I think time is what is really what I'm struggling with, to find time and to manage everything that's going on. And we're like, oh, do I want to go for this audition, or do I want to do this or that, or do something different? And there are a lot of opportunities right there, and I'm like, okay, what I'm supposed to do right now? I just need to stop and take a deep breath, and then, okay, let's manage this. Let's figure this out and go for it. Because I'm still working as a nanny right now, since the pandemic isn't 100% over yet. We still need to, have a way to pay the bills. So I'm really struggling with time to deal with having this babysitter life, and I pet sit sometimes and go for auditions and applying for auditions, or I'm also a background actor, so they call you like a day before. Oh, can you come tomorrow? Or we have this job for tomorrow. Can you come? And manage all of that at the same time. But hopefully soon it'll be more easy to deal with and get things going.
No, absolutely. Now, I do have a couple of questions for you off the air, but the last two on the list I want to ask you is, what is coming up on the horizon for you, and where are you heading to next?
Like right now, I honestly don't know.
Hey, well, let me ask you this one instead. How can your fans and listeners, get in touch with you?
I mean, I'm always on Instagram most of the time. So that's a good way, if you want to reach out to me. Right now, most of the days, I'm open to answer questions on Instagram, or, give advice and talk and have people talking to me and, asking anything. So Instagram probably is my first choice right now, but I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and, different social medias. But I think Instagram for now is the first one.
No, absolutely. Now, the last question I wanted to ask you, we're all wrapping up, is I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on the Keith Andrew Network, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And would you recommend it to other people?
So I'm pretty new on LinkedIn. And I'm trying to get to know more people and in the business and the arts and industry and the entertainment. So I think of course I would recommend it right now, especially. But when you reached out to me, I was like, yes, why not? I'm open to different experience. I'm open to to know more people in the industry and to make friends and tell my experience. So it's great that I'm here telling you and telling everyone who's listening and watching it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up to our fans and listeners, make sure if you're watching on YouTube, hit that bell icon. You'll be notified when brand new interviews are available. If you're watching on Facebook, like, subscribe. We're now on LinkedIn, Twitter, all of social medias. Make sure to like, subscribe to the hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork. Wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to part 2. So stay tuned to bigger and better things. Thank you, and have a good night.